The day after graduation, I bought a one-way ticket to Cambodia for a grad trip. I ignored everyone's calls and messages, refusing to come back. For 2 months, I lived a life of leisure. Meanwhile, the campus king who had warned me Cambodia was full of murderers was starting to panic. Because in my last life, he had used the promise of high-paying summer jobs to lure our entire class to his family's factory. He even promised that after the summer, we'd get management positions at his company right out of college. But 2 days into the job, a machine in his factory malfunctioned, tearing off both my arms and legs. By the time I reached the hospital, it was too late. When my parents confronted him, he showed no guilt at all. I told him not to touch the machinery. What can I do if he's clumsy and stupid? My childhood friend Nina defended him. The whole class is fine. He's the only one who ended up crippled. He was obviously just trying to scam them for money. What else could it be? The entire class split my massive insurance payout and helped the campus king lie to the police. My own parents believed I was a con artist who had shamed them. They abandoned my body in the morgue. They even gave our family's inheritance to the campus king as compensation for his emotional distress. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day he offered us all those high-paying summer jobs at his factory. Doesn't everyone want to repay their parents for putting them through school? I talked to my family and got everyone in our class a job at my factory. We're talking over 10 grand for the summer. And anyone who works this summer can come straight into my family's company as a manager after college. How's that for a sweet deal? Julian Croft's arrogant voice snapped me back to reality. I had been reborn. My classmates erupted in cheers, thanking him for the opportunity. But I could still feel the phantom pain of being electrocuted, my limbs being ground into paste. I grabbed my backpack and headed for the door, but Julian's hand shot out and grabbed my arm. Owen, where are you going? The whole class has agreed to work at my factory. You're the only one who hasn't said yes. I tried to pull my arm away. I'm not going, I said coldly. I have other plans. My childhood friend, Nina Hayes, stood beside him with her arms crossed, scowling at me. Do you have any heart? Your parents worked their asses off for 12 years to get you through school, and you're not going to jump at the chance to pay them back? My fists clenched. I borrowed some money online before the finals. I have to go to Cambodia this summer to pay it back. I've already signed an agreement. They're sending someone to get me. Julian narrowed his eyes, studying me. Cambodia? That place is a shithole full of killers. You're asking for a death sentence going there. His fake concern sent a chill down my spine. Whatever's in Cambodia, it's better than you secretly setting up a machine to kill me for my insurance money. I pretended to look regretful and threw my hands up. But I already made a deal. If I don't go, their boss will come looking for me personally. It'll be trouble for everyone. When my classmates heard people from Cambodia might show up, they immediately turned on me. He doesn't appreciate a good thing when he sees it. Forget him, Julian. Let's just go without him. But Julian wouldn't let it go. I already put in the request. My dad will only hire us if the entire class goes. We can't be short even one person. He glared at me. Are you really going to make the entire class miss out on this opportunity because of you? The same classmates who were just trying to get rid of me now shot daggers at me with their eyes. Nina started yelling at me. What people from Cambodia? If they come for anyone, it'll be you. Just go to the factory and make up the numbers. Don't screw over the entire class because of your own stupid problems. The others echoed her anger, looking like they wanted to tear me apart. Julian worked hard to get us this chance. If you don't go, we'll all report you for bullying, and you'll get kicked out of college before you even start. Exactly. We're counting on getting management jobs at his family's company. If you ruin our future, we'll fucking kill you. They closed in on me like a pack of wolves, their faces twisted with rage. It felt like they would skin me alive if I didn't agree. Julian smirked, his voice dripping with pressure. Owen, this isn't just about you anymore. You're jeopardizing the interests of the entire class. Do you want everyone to hate you for the rest of your life? I clenched my fists so hard my knuckles turned white. Finally I nodded, deciding to buy myself some time. Fine, I'll go with you. I'll work at the factory. The first thing I did when I got home was book a flight to Cambodia. I knew Julian Croft was after my insurance money. There was no way in hell I was stepping foot in that factory again. As long as I could get out of the country, I could avoid the fate of my previous life. But on the day I was supposed to leave for the airport, my entire class was waiting outside my house. Nina dragged me out with a cheerful smile and said to my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Blackwood, we're all going to work at the Croft factory this summer. Owen won't be home for 2 months. My parents had known and trusted Nina since we were kids. Seeing the large group of students, they didn't suspect a thing and agreed immediately. Julian pretended to be polite as he hauled me onto a large bus, waving to my parents and telling them not to worry. Nina, afraid I'd escape, wrapped my seatbelt around me several times. Don't worry, Owen. The Croft factory is in a really remote area. Even if those guys from Cambodia come looking, they'll never find you. After you work for 2 months, you can pay off your debt. You should get on your knees and thank Julian. He's your personal cash cow. Julian waved his hand, a strange glint in his eye. No, he's our cash cow. We're all counting on him for our paychecks. The other students burst out laughing, thinking he was just making fun of me. Only I knew he was telling the goddamn truth. The bus was about to get on the highway. If I didn't get off now, I'd be trapped once we reached the factory. I forced myself to stay calm. Tell the driver to pull over, I shouted. I need to use the bathroom. Julian glared at me, annoyed. Hold it. We're almost there. It's your family's factory. What's a few minutes? Are you telling me they run such a tight ship that we can't even take a piss break? What are we? Your slaves. I gritted my teeth. My words struck a chord with the other students, and they started to agree. Forced into a corner, Julian told the driver to stop at a gas station. Fine, you can go, but everyone gives me their phones first, just to make sure nobody tries to sneak off. It's about mutual trust, right? I stared at him, my jaw clenched. This was all aimed at me. Nina was the first to hand over her phone, then she scowled at me. Hurry up and give it to him. You're always causing trouble. The other students watched me like hawks. Come on, hand it over. We all did. Julian's just making sure we all stick together. We were on the outskirts of the city, not too far from the airport. If I could just get off this bus, I could run there and still make my flight. Reluctantly, I took out my phone and tossed it to him, getting ready to bolt. Suddenly, Julian shouted, "Grab him!" Nina and the others instantly grabbed my collar. He slammed my phone against my forehead hard. I knew he was up to something. He bought a ticket to Cambodia for 2 p.m. this afternoon. He was planning to run, he sneered. My classmates saw the flight confirmation text on my phone screen. They dragged me back to my seat and held me down. Owen, if you make us lose this opportunity, we'll make you regret it. You better behave, or we'll tie you up and drag you there ourselves. Nina pulled a rope from somewhere and tied me tightly to the seat. I knew you were trouble. Don't even think about running. Julian already promised his dad the whole class would be there for the interview. Not one person missing. I struggled, but the ropes didn't budge. Watching Nina and Julian walk away, looking like they'd just won a prize, my heart turned to ice. With a word from Julian, the driver started the engine again. As the bus sped away from the city, my heart sank into a black abyss. When we arrived at the factory, my classmates got off the bus with their luggage, their faces beaming. Some were already planning how to spend their wages. Others were dreaming of becoming managers at the Croft Company after college, grinning from ear to ear. Only I stared at the dilapidated, eerie factory, my whole body trembling. I had to escape today. If I didn't, tomorrow I would die here, just like in my last life. Julian dragged me by the rope. I couldn't break free, so I tried to warn the others subtly. Why do these machines look so old and busted? Julian, you sure they won't eat someone? My classmates paused. Nina immediately jumped to Julian's defense. Don't be so dramatic. Julian's family is the richest in Seacrest. The machines might look old, but they're probably state-of-the-art. The others chimed in, their eyes full of admiration. Yeah, you think the Crofts would use anything but the best? He's a rich kid. What would a poor bastard like you know? Julian is giving you a chance by letting you work here. Say one more bad thing about him, and the whole class will ice you out. Julian, who had looked a little nervous at my question, now grinned smugly at everyone's support. He grabbed my hair and yanked. Owen, you're just a poor kid who's never seen anything. I'll forgive you this time. But for insulting my family, you're gonna have to get on your knees and lick my shoes clean when we get paid. My scalp burned with pain. I looked at my classmates, who were happily filling out their interview forms, and I finally gave up hope. They were all crowded around the registration table, completely ignoring me. Julian had my phone, but I still had my smartwatch. I quietly slipped into a corner and dialed 911. When the operator answered, I lowered my voice. Officer, there are people being held here against their will. My life is in danger. We're at Pine Ridge. Before I could finish the address, Julian rushed over, ripped the watch off my wrist, and smashed it to pieces. Owen, you dare call the cops? The other students stopped what they were doing and glared at me with pure hatred. Nina stomped on the shattered watch and slapped me across the face. You idiot! Are you trying to ruin this for everyone? Can't you stand to see us succeed? The slap left my head spinning. I gritted my teeth and shot back. If there's nothing wrong with this factory, why are you so afraid of me calling the police? Are you hiding some dirty secret that you don't want them to find out? Nina's eyes darted away, and my heart plummeted into a bottomless pit. She was in on it with Julian. She knew they brought me here to be mangled by a machine so they could all cash in on my insurance money, but Julian didn't flinch. My family owns half this city. You think we can't handle a little trouble? I was just worried the police would waste everyone's work time. If we lose a single cent, are you going to pay for it? Besides, we signed a contract. We have to work the full 2 months to get the internship at my company. My classmates, furious, started pushing and shoving me. You're just trying to stir up shit. You want to ruin everything for us. I fell to the ground, my head slamming against a machine with a sickening crack. Julian planted his foot on my head, his voice filled with righteous fury. We can't let him destroy our future. I say we make him sign a contract. If he leaves the factory, he has to pay each of us $50,000. That'll keep him in line. My eyes widened in horror. That's illegal. A contract like that would never hold up in court. Julian's smile was chilling as he approached with a handwritten note. Once you sign it and put your thumbprint on it, it's binding. Owen, why wouldn't you sign, unless you have something to hide? Nina and the others grabbed my arms, forcing my hand toward the paper. Julian is just asking for a promise. As long as you don't leave, nothing will happen. Just sign it. He's looking out for all of us, Owen. Our patience is running out. As my thumb got closer to the ink pad, in a moment of sheer desperation, I threw myself toward a bottle of acid sitting in the corner. My hands knocked it over, and the corrosive liquid splashed all over them. The acid instantly seared away my fingerprints. Gasping for breath, I held up my hands, my voice trembling. I don't have any fingerprints, and I'm not signing shit. Julian's eyes turned glacial. He ripped the note to shreds with a cold, terrifying smile. I was trying to be nice, just a simple signature to keep everyone happy. But now, I guess I have to use more extreme measures. He pulled a syringe from his bag and advanced on me, each step radiating menace. This is a special formula my family developed. It's for people who don't listen. One shot of this, and you'll be a drooling idiot for life, only capable of repeating one simple action over and over again. My teeth chattered as I struggled wildly, but Nina and the others held my arms tight, preventing me from fighting back. Just as the cold needle touched my skin, the sound of police sirens blared from out. My wife has a ton of guy friends. I kept telling her to keep her distance, but she'd just say, why are you so petty? They're all like brothers from the old neighborhood. Fine. I immediately called my female friend who'd just returned from overseas. My wife wasn't happy about that. My wife stayed out all night again. I scrolled through Snapchat and saw a new video posted by Asher Hayes, one of my wife's guy friends. My wife was in a crowd of men, glass in hand, beaming. I didn't feel a flicker of anger. I turned off my phone, didn't call her incessantly like I used to. I slept straight through till morning. The next day my wife came home with breakfast, her heavy smudged makeup still on. She looked at me, trying to be sweet, and started to explain. Darling, I'm so sorry. Asher just got back, so everyone gathered for a reunion. It got super late and I didn't want to disturb your sleep, so I just stayed at a hotel with them. But don't worry, honey, I didn't share a bed with any of them this time. She specifically emphasized that she hadn't slept in the same bed as Asher. Last time she stayed out, we had a huge fight. I was furious that she was a married woman, yet she she had absolutely no boundaries. Out drinking with guys every other night, but my wife cried calling me petty. She swore they were all like brothers from the old neighborhood, her best guy friends. Just thinking about her best guy friends made my blood boil. Asher Hayes was the one I resented most. Asher was Maya's childhood sweetheart. They'd grown up together. In today's terms, Asher was Maya's closest male confidant, her male bestie. But to me, their relationship had no boundaries whatsoever. More than once, I'd seen a drunk Maya snuggled into Asher's arms, playfully whining. They even shared the same drinking glass, completely unbothered. At first, my wife would patiently explain things to me. She'd reassure me, give me peace of mind, but as time went on, she grew increasingly impatient. She'd just throw one line at me. Asher and I have absolutely nothing going on. If something was going to happen between us, it would have happened already. You wouldn't even be my husband. Of course, her guy friends all chimed in to reason with me. We grew up together. We've always treated Maya like our little sister, so don't take it the wrong way, alright? We're just like family. Family? What kind of brother and sister sit on each other's laps and feed each other? It made my stomach churn. I told my wife countless times that I was uncomfortable. I didn't like her going out with them at night. Later, I don't know how it reached her guy friends' ears. Suddenly, her good brothers started making snide, passive-aggressive remarks about me. Oh, Maya, don't drink anymore. Your husband will blame us for getting you drunk. Dude, Maya's all yours now. We wouldn't dare take her home anymore. They said all these things right to my face. Gradually, they all started to think I was petty, not a real man at all. My relationship with my wife also started to cool. Snapping back to reality, my wife handed me a freshly made coffee. She wrapped her arms around me from behind. Husband, are you still mad? Don't be mad, please. They're just friends to me. You're way more important. I didn't say anything. Don't be mad. Let's go on a trip next week. Just the two of us, a romantic getaway. Haven't you always wanted to go hiking? I'll go with you. I'm an outdoor enthusiast. I love hiking. I tried to get Maya to go with me before, but she had absolutely no interest in it. Her friends even laughed at me when they found out. Hiking? Is that what old people do? Our Princess Maya can't get a tan on a mountain. Gradually, I stopped bringing it up. Now, my wife was actually suggesting it herself. A flicker of hope ignited inside me. Seeing my expression soften, my wife beamed. She immediately promised she'd arrange everything for the hiking trip. My wife had been well behaved these past few days. She hadn't gone out to parties at night. But today, I saw Asher post his hiking photos. It was the exact mountain I wanted to climb, and in the corner of one picture, I spotted a pair of hands. The ring on one hand was unmistakably Maya's. I grabbed my phone and confronted my wife with the photo. You went hiking with him? Her face immediately flushed with embarrassment and panic. I was just scouting out the trail. I mean, I'm going with you in a few days, right? It was the first I'd ever heard of needing to scout a hiking trail. Didn't her friends call hiking old people's entertainment? Why were they all so enthusiastic when my wife said she was going hiking? I asked you to go before and you refused. But now you're all over it with Asher? Maya Harrington, how can I not overthink this? Seeing me get angry, my wife's own temper flared. I told you I was just scouting the trail. If you're so bothered, let's go right now. You want to hike, right? We'll go together right now. She pulled my hand, dragging me toward the door. I yanked my hand away. No need. I walked into the bedroom and started packing my suitcase. My wife stared at me, shocked. What are you doing? I kept packing, not looking up at her. My mom's sick. I'm going home to see her. I'd married Maya right after college. Since she was an only child and couldn't leave her parents, I'd moved 1,000 miles to settle in her city. But I was an only child too. Now my mom was sick, and I couldn't even be there for her immediately. Maya froze for a moment. I saw several emotions flash across her face. A silent, suffocating tension filled the air. Why didn't you tell me? Honey, I'm sad that mom's sick too. Do you need me to come back with you? I bent down, packed the last item, and closed my suitcase. No need. Anyone who truly wanted to go wouldn't ask. That night, I took a direct flight to City B. Counting the time, it had been 2 years since I'd gone home to see my parents. Looking at my mother in her hospital bed, an unexpected wave of guilt washed over me. Leo, why are you here? Where's Maya? Mom, I came to see you. Maya. She's pretty busy with work. My mother didn't have many wishes, only that our family life would be harmonious. Good, good. It's nothing serious. You don't need to worry about me. You didn't have to come. What a waste of your time. I spent the next few days taking care of my mom. Maya, on the other hand, was checking in on me constantly. Every day she'd ask when I was coming back. After my mother recovered, she urged me to return to City A. So I told my wife the date of my return. The day I landed at City A airport, a luxury sedan pulled up in front of me. My wife sat in the passenger seat shouting, "Honey, over here!" I looked closer. The driver was Asher Hayes. My wife naturally got out to greet me. Asher gave me an insolent smirk. "Leo Sterling, you can handle your own bags, right? I won't bother getting out." I didn't reply, just put my suitcase in the trunk myself. My wife linked her arm through mine affectionately. "Honey, you're finally back. Asher heard you were returning and offered to pick you up himself." I opened the back passenger door expecting my wife to join me, but she casually opened the front passenger door and got back into the front. Asher, with a cheeky grin, casually put his hand on Maya's shoulder, then glanced at me and immediately explained, "Leo, seriously, I just wasn't comfortable with Maya coming to pick you up alone. What a pathetic man, always relying on his woman. He's totally beneath me." My wife's face showed a hint of awkwardness. She quickly changed the subject, opening her phone to show me a group chat. "Honey, Asher really did offer to pick you up, okay? Don't misunderstand. I've been so good these past few days, waiting for you at home every single day." That group chat had all their old neighborhood friends in it. Everyone but me. I pressed my lips together. It's fine. I ignored the barely perceptible challenge in Asher's eyes. He always said he was afraid I'd misunderstand. Yet he constantly did things that made me misunderstand. How many nights had she stayed out? How many times had she been drunk somewhere else? Ever since news of my fight with my wife got out, Asher's overtly inappropriate touching of my wife had turned into subtle, sneaky touching. Normally what had just happened would have infuriated me, but now I didn't care anymore. I couldn't be bothered with the two of them in the front, with their complete lack of boundaries. "Can you wait a few minutes? I'm waiting for a friend." A stunning woman walked toward us. Chloe Vance, clicking in her heels and dragging a suitcase, hurried toward me, waving as she ran. "Leo, there you are! I finally found you!" Chloe pouted playfully at me. "You're so inconsiderate, not waiting for me. Do you know how long I dragged this suitcase around looking for you?" Chloe opened the car door and slid onto the seat beside me, intimately linking her arm through mine. "This is my first time in City A. I don't know anyone, so you'll have to take responsibility for me." This scene made Maya Harrington and Asher Hayes freeze simultaneously. They didn't understand what stunt I was pulling. Maya immediately became alert. Her brows furrowed so deeply closely, it looked like she was trying to pinch something between them. Honey, is this who you were waiting for? Before I could reply, Chloe introduced herself to both of them boldly. Hi everyone, I'm Chloe Vance, and Leo and I grew up together. Grew up together? Maya's tone was sharp. Yep, we're best buddies, right Leo? Chloe hooked her arm over my shoulder, saying it to Maya without a care in the world. I glanced out of the corner of my eye at Maya, who was in the passenger seat. Maya was completely stumped. In contrast, Chloe chattered away with me the whole ride. Oh my gosh, Leo, it's so beautiful, look! Leo, do you remember when we were kids? Leo. Compared to us, the front of the car was eerily quiet. It wasn't that Asher wasn't talking. Normally, whenever we went out, Asher was the most talkative person there. He'd always pull Maya into conversation, going on and on. From childhood anecdotes to the latest gossip from their old neighborhood, he'd always talk about things I couldn't possibly join in on. But now Asher was still trying to start conversations, but Maya's responses were always terse. After dropping Chloe off at her hotel, Maya immediately told Asher to pull over. Then she opened the car door and joined me in the back seat. Her face was black with fury. Why did you move to the back? Maya snorted. What, I'm not allowed to sit here? What exactly is that woman to you? I closed my eyes, feigning sleep, deliberately avoiding the question. I'm really tired. Let's just go home. Maya walked into the house without a word. I just finished changing my shoes when I saw her sitting on the sofa, arms crossed, her face a mile long. I pretended not to notice and started unpacking my luggage. After a while, she finally spoke. What exactly is your relationship with that Chloe Vance? She stared at me intently, desperate for my answer. I told you, she's a buddy. A buddy? You're calling a woman your buddy? That woman was clearly all over you. Were you seeing her the whole time you were home? Were you two together all those days? Her questions came like a machine gun, and the more she talked, the angrier she got. She stood up and threw a cushion at me. I dodged it, ignoring her rage. I said calmly, she's a good person. As a friend, what does it matter if she's a man or a woman? Of course it matters. You're married. How can you be calling another woman your buddy? I retorted, oh really? Aren't you married and you're still calling all those men from your old neighborhood buddies? Maya was so shocked she couldn't speak. I'd never seen so many expressions cross her face at once. Shock, shame, and regret. Finally, after a long pause, she squeezed out a sentence through gritted teeth. They're different! I grew up with them. I know everything about them. I cut her off directly, mimicking her usual words. Chloe and I are childhood friends too. What's so different about that? Can't you trust me? Maya was completely stumped. For days, she gave me the silent treatment around the house. I simply pretended not to notice. That weekend, we went to Mrs. Harrington's parents' house for dinner, as usual. At the dinner table, Mrs. Harrington noticed the tension in the air between Maya and me. Maya, Leo moved away from his hometown for you. You can't keep acting like a spoiled princess. Then she looked at me kindly. Leo, Maya's been spoiled since she was little. She can be a bit delicate. Don't take it too seriously. Married couples have their ups and downs, but they always work it out. You have to be more understanding. Maya, as if begging for peace, clasped my hand. Husband. She was about to speak when someone interrupted her. Maya, why didn't you tell me you were coming for dinner? Asher Hayes had arrived. Asher immediately hooked his arm around Maya's neck. Maya awkwardly pushed his hand away, glancing at me with a hint of embarrassment. Asher noticed me standing there and let out a dismissive tsk. He said casually, oh, Leo's here too. As he spoke, a whole group of people came in behind Asher. These were all Maya's guy friends. Maya, you're here! Why didn't you invite us to hang out? It's rare for everyone from our old neighborhood to be together like this. Maya's face indeed lit up with anticipation. Maya looked at me pleadingly, hoping I would agree. The other guys also looked at me as if they were practically glaring daggers at me if I didn't agree. Even though Maya and I had been married for 3 years, I still wasn't close to any of them. They were always somewhat distant toward me. And of course I couldn't integrate into their circle. They couldn't relax when I was around. Husband, how about you come hang out with us? Maya affectionately linked her arm through mine, asking sweetly. For a moment, the entire room fell silent. Everyone was looking at me. Some of the guys exchanged glances. Everyone was waiting for my answer. They didn't want me there, but they desperately wanted Maya. Since that was the case, I'd give them what they wanted. I wiped my mouth and replied coolly, okay. They stopped talking. The atmosphere was incredibly strange. A few minutes later, Maya cautiously spoke. Then I'll be back early. Then she added, you don't have to come pick me up later. They'll take me home. I'll definitely be home early this time. She gave me a reassuring promise, but I just smiled, quietly eating my dinner. Maya stood up and left with them. Before they even walked out the door, I heard someone say, did Leo change his mind? He's actually letting Maya go out with us?
My sister and I were born enemies. When it was time to be reborn, she wanted the title of Manhattan's princess all to herself. We were supposed to be twins, but she kicked me aside into some struggling actress's womb and crawled into the billionaire's wife instead. What she didn't know was that the billionaire's family was completely insane. The obsessively devoted billionaire husband, his naive, saint-like wife, and their dark, possessive adopted son. Later, my sister was tortured by that psychotic adopted brother until she became disabled, her lower body paralyzed. Meanwhile, my actress mom worked her way up to become an A-list star and pushed me from child actor to leading lady. Driven by jealousy, my sister strapped on a bomb and took us both out at an award ceremony. When I opened my eyes again, my sister shoved me aside and dove into the actress's womb first. This time, I'll be the one living the glamorous life, she crowed. I smiled. She had no idea that I could cure the billionaire family's problems right from the womb, that psychotic adopted brother. I'd have him wrapped around my finger in no time. And that entertainment industry mother of hers, she was the truly terrifying one. Sister, this time it's your turn to be tortured by that crazy family. In the underworld, my sister knocked me over and dove headfirst into the mirror showing the pregnant, struggling actress. I gripped the mirror's edge desperately, refusing to fall. The young, handsome Grim Reaper looked confused. Is your sister always this impulsive? In my past life, when the Reaper selected us as research subjects and gave us the chance to choose our reincarnations, my sister got so excited she kicked me into the actress's womb before he could finish explaining. I refuse to be sisters with her anymore. She doesn't deserve it. The Reaper had no choice but to modify his experiment on the spot, allowing us to each choose our own family. Afraid he'd change his mind, my sister climbed toward the billionaire's wife's womb before he finished speaking. So in that life, neither of us knew what the Reaper had left unsaid, but I knew it had to be important. Seeing me stubbornly refuse to reincarnate, the Reaper smiled with interest. You're definitely smarter than her. Fine, I'll I'll tell you about the experiment's additional conditions. After he explained, I finally understood. In the previous life, after modifying his research, the Reaper added 2 conditions. He gave us each a special ability, mind reading and extraordinary beauty. He wanted to see how we'd react when the sick billionaire family could hear our thought, and whether exceptional beauty could change an actress and her daughter's fate. But we never knew about these 2 abilities in that life. So my sister must have complained about the family's dysfunction in her thoughts and offended them all. No wonder the whole family despised her, and that psycho adopted brother tortured her into disability. As for me, though my exceptional beauty earned the actress's careful cultivation and made me a top star, behind the glamour was an abyss of darkness. Looking at the actress's swollen belly in the mirror, I sneered inwardly. Sister, congratulations on taking my place in hell. This time, I'll make good use of my mind-reading ability, starting from the womb. I'll make the billionaire family treasure me. Thank you, sir. I looked at the Reaper gratefully one last time, let go, and dove into the billionaire's wife's womb. What? The umbilical cord is wrapped around the neck? The C-section could endanger my wife? In the delivery room, my billionaire father roared at the medical staff. Figure something out. Save the mother, not the baby. If anything happens to my wife, I'll burn this entire hospital to the ground. I sighed inwardly. So this is my billionaire daddy? He loves my mommy so much, so devoted. What an absolutely perfect man. My mommy is so blessed. Sure enough, the moment they heard my thoughts, both the raging billionaire and the screaming wife rose. They stopped and stared at each other in shock. I smiled to myself. They definitely heard me. This mind-reading ability was amazing, and I could control who heard what. In the last life, my sister didn't know about this ability. The default setting broadcast her thoughts to the entire billionaire family. When she heard the billionaire say to save the mother, not the baby, she cursed internally. What a brain-dead billionaire putting on a devoted husband act. Faker, save the mother, not the baby. He probably has mistresses who've already given him a bunch of kids. Her thoughts almost caused the wife to turn on the billionaire right then and there. The billionaire was furious, but had to kneel and swear to placate his wife. After my sister was born, the billionaire didn't even glance at her, just held his wife and cried. Baby, you worked so hard, you scared me to death. My sister continued her sarcastic commentary. I'm your baby, okay? He won't even look at me. Still acting. This ugly old hag is so stupid to believe him. Just look at yourself. Do you really deserve to be a billionaire's wife? Her vicious thoughts made the billionaire's face turn cold, and he ordered someone to take her away. The wife also began to suspect his daughter was an evil demon who came to compete with her for her husband's affection. A debt collector. They'd hated her from the womb, but I was different. I'd make them both treasure me. A wife-obsessed fanatic and a naive saint? Piece of cake. I continued using my mind-reading ability. Why are daddy and mommy crying because of me? No, I can't make them cry. I need to work harder. With that, I flipped over in the warm amniotic fluid, facing the ultrasound camera. I reached out my little hand, grabbed the cord with all my strength, and unwound it, once, twice, from around my little head. There, daddy and mommy, don't cry. Baby has untangled the bad cord. The billionaire and his wife looked at the ultrasound screen in shock and delight. Doctor, come look. Is the baby's umbilical cord no longer wrapped around her neck? The medical staff's voice trembled with excitement, nearly crying. Mr. Hartwell, Mrs. Hartwell, this is a miracle in medical history. Your daughter must be connected to you emotionally. She unwound the cord herself. What a smart angel baby. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Hartwell. The couple embraced and wept. The billionaire waved his hand grandly. Bonuses. Everyone in this hospital gets a $10,000 red envelope. The medical staff thanked him profusely, breathing sighs of relief. One second he'd threatened to burn them down, the next he was giving everyone bonuses. All thanks to me, the soon-to-be-born little princess. Just then, a familiar piercing scream came from the next delivery room. What do you mean difficult labor? Get your hospital's best labor coach. You think I won't expose this corrupt hospital? That voice, it was the struggling actress. I'd almost forgotten. In my past life, my sister and I were born in adjacent rooms just like this. So I activated my mind-reading ability and taunted my sister through the wall. Dear sister, you were reborn first but still haven't come out yet? I know. Respect your elders. I should be born first. Ah, doctor, it hurts. This little demon is kicking me in the belly. Get her out. My sister lost control in rage, kicking and thrashing inside the actress's belly. The actress cried and cursed her as a wretched child. Meanwhile, I smiled and adjusted my position, thinking to myself, Daddy, Mommy, baby is coming to meet you now. With that, I used my hands and feet and with a plop slid right onto the delivery bed, crying loudly. My billionaire dad and the medical staff were stunned. My naive mother hadn't even registered what happened. That's it? She's born? I've never seen anyone give birth this easily. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Hartwell, on your angel baby. Mom held me laughing and crying. William, look. She stopped crying the moment I held her. She's smiling at me. My billionaire dad choked up as he held us both. This child is so considerate. She didn't want you to suffer. He named me Pearl Hartwell, meaning I was a treasure heaven had bestowed upon them. He immediately established a foundation in my name and transferred 5% of his company shares to me. Sweet daughter, this is daddy's reward for you. I cheered inwardly while my sister next door nearly killed the actress with her tantrum. Eventually, the actress couldn't take the pain and had a C-section. The entire hospital gossiped behind their backs, praising me as an angel baby while calling my sister a debt collector. The actress didn't even look at her before having her taken away, while I was placed in a bassinet right next to my mom's bed. Just as I was about to drift off to sleep, a pale, handsome face appeared above me.
To continue, tap the arrow in the bottom right corner and copy the link, then tap the CapCut icon in the bottom left. Finally, click the red button.
The first thing my foster brother Joey did after getting his driver's license was ask to borrow my sports car to pick up girls. I said no, so on my wedding day, he drove off with my wedding car. Amidst the roar of the engine, he sent me a voice message, sounding carefree. William, I'll take your bride to the wedding venue first. You can just grab an Uber. The scene fell silent. I turned to look at Mia's father, Carter, standing at the back of the crowd. He avoided my gaze and simply said, William, don't misunderstand. Joey and Mia already know each other well. It's It's just a car ride, nothing serious. Let's not delay the wedding. I nodded, then spoke directly to my assistant. Call the police. Someone just stole a car in broad daylight and is suspected of kidnapping. Also, notify the bank. I'm withdrawing my guarantee on that $200 million loan for the Carter family. Carter's expression changed instantly. He rushed over to stop me, his tone full of negotiation. William, let's talk this through. It's our wedding day. Let's not make a spectacle for outsiders, I replied with a cold laugh. So you do know it's a wedding. The bride just ran off with some other guy, leaving the groom to Uber to his own wedding. You're not worried about being a laughingstock? This is indeed Mia crossing the line. I'll call her right now and tell her to come back. But after 3 consecutive calls, Mia didn't pick up. Joey sent me a message. In the video, he had Mia, disheveled, pinned against the passenger seat. William, look, Mia's so excited she's hyperventilating. I'm just giving her mouth to mouth. I held my phone right up to Carter's face. Is this what you call nothing serious? Since she has Joey, I'll make it easy for both of you. Police cars surrounded the Rolls-Royce in the distance. Mia hurriedly got out of the car, her face still flushed. William, what's the meaning of this? Joey was just joking with you. We're all family here. You really want to send your own brother to jail? Joey stood beside her looking utterly wronged. Don't blame William. It's all my fault for not knowing my boundaries. Don't fight because of me. Mia got even angrier. See how understanding Joey is? Besides, I gave him the car keys. I was the one who asked him to take me for a ride. If you've got the guts, have the police arrest me too. Since she was defending Joey so adamantly, I'd grant her wish. I yanked out the dash cam and handed it to the police. Officer, you just heard them. One's the principal offender, the other's an accomplice. Not only did they steal the car, they were speeding and parked on a non-motor vehicle road. Please handle this according to the law. Mia completely panicked. Her voice carried a barely detectable tremor. William, I'm your wife. Are you really going to send me to jail? I waved my phone at her. The wedding's been canceled. Didn't you know? Carter stood beside her, frantically gesturing for her to apologize. Mia froze for a moment, her face instantly losing all color. She came before me and took my arm proactively. William, are you jealous? She pressed the car keys into my hand. What happened just now was my fault. I promise you I'll never do something so thoughtless again. Please don't be angry, okay? The wedding's about to start. Let's hurry to the venue. I pushed her away roughly, staring at her ingratiating smile. My voice was ice cold. If you want me to drop this, it's not impossible. The police are right here. Tell them what really happened just now. You know what I want to hear. Mia frowned deeply, trembling all over. Under everyone's gaze, she slowly spoke. Just now, Joey stole the car keys. I was tricked into getting in the car with him. Since she stepped forward to identify him, the police wasted no time and took Joey away directly. The police car drove off with its sirens blaring. William, are you satisfied with this resolution? Then about our two families' wedding, I straightened my cuffs and glanced indifferently at Mia, who looked like she'd lost her soul. The wedding will be postponed. As for the $200 million guarantee, I'll communicate with the bank. After this fiasco, Mia settled down considerably. For the first time ever, she made a lunchbox herself and brought it to my office. I knew she was trying to make me happy, to keep a tight grip on this cash cow, but I didn't care. But then I saw Joey's new social media post. In the photo, Joey, who should have been in detention, was standing in the garage of the wedding house I'd bought. Behind him, my limited edition Rolls-Royce was covered in green paint. The dozen or so sports cars in the garage, each worth millions, hadn't been spared either. Joey had even added a cheeky caption. Now this is living. Rage instantly flooded my brain. I called Mia directly. Why is Joey at my house? She was silent for a moment. William, Joey is your brother. After something this serious happened, he didn't dare go home. He's just staying at our place for one night. Don't be so petty. I was petty? I laughed in disbelief. I sent her the photo from Joey's social media directly. Since you're so generous, your family can cover all the damages. Mia's displeased voice came through. William, you're so rich. Why do you care about such small matters? I know you've always looked down on Joey, but you've really gone too far this time. I couldn't be bothered arguing with her and simply hung up. It seemed I'd given Mia too much kindness lately, so much that she'd forgotten her place. Now she was bringing an outsider into my home and actually expecting me to pretend I didn't notice. After I hung up, Mia didn't send messages to soften up like before. I knew she was using this method to resist me, but I didn't care. I called the police directly. 911, someone broke into my private residence and deliberately damaged my personal property. Initial estimates show my personal losses exceed $100 million. Soon, I followed the police back home. Only then did I discover it wasn't just the garage. Joey was standing in front of my wine cabinet with his delinquent friends playing drinking games. Those precious wines I'd collected from around the world. They'd taken a few sips, then smashed the bottles all over the floor. I pulled out my phone and started recording them. I also notified my assistant to bring people over for appraisal. Joey looked at the living room full of police and waved dismissively with a smile. It's all a misunderstanding. This is my brother's house. We're brothers. We can settle this ourselves. I let out a cold laugh and called him by name directly. Joey, you're just a driver's son. You've been riding on the fact that your dad once saved my dad's life. Our family raised you all these years. That debt was paid off long ago. I pointed at the 2 empty rows on the wine cabinet. You guys really know how to pick. These bottles were ones I bought at a European auction for $80 million. If you can't pay up today, I'm sending you all to prison. Joey's drunk friends instantly sobered up. They waved their hands frantically, trying to distance themselves. This has nothing to do with me. Joey said to treat this place like our own home and invited us to hang out. We didn't touch those cars either. I have video proof. Joey did it all by himself. He lied and told us he was the heir to the Jones family fortune and said the Jones family wouldn't care about this small amount of money. Joey punched him. You bastards, you're selling me out? Several of them got into a brawl until a police officer shouted them to a stop. Joey knelt before me with a black eye. William, I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. Could you please, for my dad's sake, let me off just this once? I said nothing. Since childhood, Joey had always competed with me. But now, all the resentment accumulated over the years finally erupted. This time, I absolutely wouldn't let him off. Can't pay? Then I'll contact my lawyer to file a lawsuit. The sports cars and wines are worth over $100 million. Looks like you'll be spending the next 20 years in prison. I patted his shoulder, my tone light and airy. Watching his face turn deathly pale, I felt immensely satisfied. At the same time, Mia had already rushed to the villa. When she saw Joey's black eyes, she pushed me hard without asking any questions. William, you actually hit someone in broad daylight? Do you have any respect for the law? The law? This is my house. He broke in, smashed my cars and wine, and now in front of the police? Who's the one without legal awareness? Mia was stunned. Joey grabbed her clothes like a drowning man clutching at straws. Mia, I really didn't mean it. I just wanted to show my friends around. But William not only wants to sue me, he wants me to go to prison for 20 years. Please save me. Mia looked at me again, her tone no longer as harsh as before. Joey's just a bit playful. These material possessions, we can just buy more. Why make such a big deal out of it? Fine. You compensate for all the damages at market value, and I'll let him go. Meeting my gaze, Mia hesitated for only a second before gritting her teeth and agreeing. I'll pay. The police left after having both parties sign documents, citing private mediation. I instructed my assistant, who'd arrived late, renovate the entire villa from top to bottom. As for the compensation, once the lawyer determines the total amount, transfer it directly from Carter Group's accounts. If that's not enough, liquidate company shares until it's covered. Now, Mia wanted to swallow such a huge compensation payment for another man. I could make her go bankrupt. Behind me came Mia's disdainful laugh. William, whether you have the ability to touch my family's company accounts remains to be seen. She pulled out a document from her bag and threw it in my face. Open your eyes and look clearly. Who exactly is the controlling shareholder of Carter Group now? The sharp edge of the paper cut a bloody mark across my cheek. The contract actually stated that Mia had transferred all my shares to Joey's name a week ago. Not only that, she'd also transferred over a dozen of my subsidiary companies to Joey. The seal on the signature was my grandmother's private seal. I suddenly remembered. Before Grandma died, she'd given her private seal to Mia. I never expected she'd exploit this loophole and turn it into leverage against me. I endured your foul temper all this time because the paperwork hadn't been finalized. But now everything's settled. William, you're nothing but a penniless bum now. Mia surveyed the mess in the room, speaking lightly. As for the compensation, we'll just process it through those subsidiaries of yours. You've made quite a bit of money over the years, but in the end, it's all been a wedding dress for us. Consider this your apology gift to Joey. Joey, looking like a petty villain who'd just won, came before me. William, the wheel of fortune turns. You've been the heir for so many years. It's time for a change. But given our relationship, I won't let you sleep on the streets. Carter Group happens to need a security guard. You can start right away. I stared at the two of them without speaking. Mia waved her hand, and several bodyguards entered from outside. I can give you one chance now. As long as you kneel here and repent for 3 hours, our wedding can proceed as scheduled. The floor was covered with broken glass from wine bottles. Kneeling for 3 hours would probably cripple both legs. Mia was deliberately trying to humiliate me. She smiled disdainfully. Don't worry, even if you become disabled, I can support you for life. Joey pressed down on my shoulders, forcing me to kneel. He even pulled out his phone and started a live stream, pointing the camera at my face. William, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and kneel. I couldn't hold back anymore and punched him in the nose. Mia screamed, about to stop me, but the bodyguards who'd been standing around suddenly surrounded her instead. In her bewildered gaze, I shook my slightly numb right hand and said coldly, Mia, you've misunderstood something. Grandma's private seal can indeed authorize shareholder transfers, but only if we're officially married. But you're an outsider who hasn't even entered the Jones family. Your actions constitute commercial theft, and I have the right to pursue all your illegal activities. As for Carter Group, the moment it lost me as its backer, it was already being carved up. I didn't even need to lift a finger. Her phone vibrated frantically. During the company dinner, everyone was allowed to order what they wanted. But when it was my turn, Tyron, the new intern, suddenly snatched the menu out of my hands. That's enough. No more orders. I ignored him and turned to the waiter. One vanilla bean panna cotta, please. Out of nowhere, Tyron slammed the menu right into my face, his eyes blazing. I said no more orders. What part of that didn't you get? Who the hell do you think you are, huh? The edge of the menu scraped across my cheek, leaving a burning red line. My patience snapped clean in an instant. I didn't even think twice. I grabbed the menu and slapped it right back into his smug face. He instantly exploded, roaring like a lunatic. Son of a bitch. Do you even know who you're messing with? My mother is Thelma Appleton, this company's biggest client. Even the CEO shows me respect. You touch me again, and I'll make sure your entire $500,000 bonus gets wiped out, and I'll have every company in the industry blacklist your ass. I froze, completely thrown off. Thelma Appleton, my aunt who's been single for 40 years and has never had a kid in her life? Since when did she suddenly have a full-grown son? Seeing me caught off guard, Tyron's ego went through the roof. What? Cat got your tongue? A clown like you, winning contracts with your face? Letting you sit at this table already lowers the air quality, and you still think you get to order? Winning deals with my looks? I wake up before sunrise to write proposals, spend 8 hours a day on construction sites, covered in dust and getting burned so dark my own mother has to squint to recognize me. And this idiot thinks I skate by on my face? I slid my chair back, stood up, and locked eyes with him. Listen carefully. I earn everything I have by working my ass off. Everyone here knows that. You're just an intern. You haven't earned the right to talk. And let's get this straight. This is a company dinner, not your party. If I'm not worthy to order, you're even less so. No wonder this place stinks. Turns out it's just your mouth spewing nonsense. Around us, the entire room looked down, shoulders shaking from trying not to laugh. They'd all had it with Tyron. 1 month in the company, and he'd been acting like everyone was his personal staff. Once, the new hire Leela Gert refused to fetch his coffee. He dumped the entire cup over her head, burning her scalp so badly it blistered, and he didn't even apologize. He threatened her instead. Try to make me apologize, and I'll make sure you get kicked out of this company. The company ended up covering her medical bills. I wanted to step in back then, but my colleagues held me back. I always wondered why everyone just swallowed their anger. Turns out everyone was terrified of his Thelma Appleton's son title. Tyron's face flushed bright red as he jabbed a finger at me. Boy, stop trying to act tough here. Without my mom, this company would already be bankrupt. I'm telling you right now, tonight's dinner goes by my rules. If I say you don't order, you don't. You're just a piece of shit. How dare you act cocky? You order one dish, just one, and I'll make sure you're fired tomorrow. The waiter looked at me nervously. Sir, should I still place your order? Yes, please, I answered without a hint of hesitation. What the hell was this? I bring in projects worth tens of millions in this company, and I'm not allowed to order one damn dessert? What's all this yelling? Our CEO, Rainer Fogarty, pushed open the door, his face dark as storm clouds. A company dinner isn't where you come to fight. What's going on? But Tyron cut him off, spinning the story as if he were the victim. Before I could speak, Rainer's sharp gaze landed on me. Conley, you've been here for a year. You should know by now that frugality is one of our core policies. Tyron was just thinking about the company's finances. Was one dish really worth the trouble? You hitting someone just made everything worse, Conley. Apologize to Tyron right now and pay over 10 grand for emotional damages, and then maybe we'll consider this matter settled. I couldn't help but laugh and stare straight at my boss. Sir, you seriously want me to apologize and pay him? Rainer's face darkened, unreadable, while Lila yanked at my sleeve. She hissed, Conley, don't be an idiot. Tyron is Thelma Appleton's son. You can't afford to cross him. Sir Rainer is still counting on him to close the Aptivian deal. I couldn't help but snort in bitterness. He says his mother is Thelma Appleton and you all just believe him? Did he even show proof when he joined? Leela pulled out her phone, scrolling to Tyron's Facebook. It's legit. First day Mrs. Appleton drove him here personally. I stared at the figures in the photo and almost dropped my jaw. My goddess-level flawless aunt, standing there looking sharp in front of a luxury car, and next to her was really Tyron. Tyron even captioned the photo. Thanks, Mom, for taking time from your busy schedule to drop me off for my internship. I won't let you down. I immediately dialed my aunt, but all I got was the mechanical message saying her phone was powered off. Seeing that I refused to apologize, Tyron shot me a vicious look. Boy, don't regret this. I'll make sure you pay for it. The next day, he really did make me pay. At the awards ceremony, the top sales trophy that was supposed to be mine, along with the $500,000 bonus, were somehow handed to Tyron. They didn't even have time to swap out my name on the PPT slide for the acceptance speech. It was a straight-up daylight robbery. A surge of anger quickly burned through my chest. I spoke up on the spot. What were the criteria for choosing the top salesperson? This month, my projects brought in over $1 billion in total sales and generated tens of millions in profit. I'm $5 million in profit ahead of second place. Meanwhile, Tyron hasn't closed a single deal. So I'm asking all the executives here, on what basis does he get my award? The hall fell completely silent. The CFO and sales director exchanged glances, but neither dared breathe. Tyron looked at me with pure arrogance. Obviously, your projects weren't clean. The company can't condone your kind. Right now, we're only stripping your top salesperson title. Keep playing these dirty games, wrecking the company's rep, and next up, termination. I was shaking with fury, my eyes scanning the stage. All those executives who once praised my remarkable performance, called me promising talent, were all avoiding my gaze, heads lowered like spineless cowards. I had no choice but to turn to the CEO. Sir, is that your take too? Being called out publicly clearly pissed him off. He frowned, annoyed. Conley, the company has its considerations. Don't let this small thing ruin the ceremony. Look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture? My eyes were flames, my voice raw. The bigger picture? I grind all year. No days off, midnight nights. My back broken on these projects. Just for my work to be handed to someone else. One baseless rumor wipes out every damn thing I've done, and you all stand there, doing nothing. Tell me, where's fairness? Where's justice? Do you feel nothing treating someone who's carried this company like this? Rainer was completely speechless. But Tyron didn't show the slightest shame. Dude even lifted his chin at me. Fairness? He let out a mocking laugh. Boy, don't be naive. In this world, fairness belongs to whoever holds the power. You want justice so damn bad? Then go get yourself a rich mother to fight your battles. Oh wait, right, you don't have one. Tyron didn't even bother hiding the contempt on his face. He looked at me coldly and said, Me? I'm Thelma Appleton's son, the CEO of Aptivian Group. My status alone is enough to crush you for the rest of your life. I stared straight at him, genuinely wondering where this guy got the balls for that kind of confidence. Hell, for a second I even started doubting my aunt. Did she really sneak around and pop out some secret kid behind the family's backs? Then, I asked, I heard Mrs. Appleton has a nephew she treats like her own son. Tell me, top salesperson, have you actually met him? Tyron's face froze. Then he clicked his tongue and shot me a dismissive look. That's my cousin. Of course I've met him, but he's been overseas for years. He barely comes home. Even I hardly see him. So a nobody like you, don't even dream about it. I chuckled. Is that so? If he's not low class, then why'd someone steal another man's top sales title and bonus? Don't tell me you're not a real Appleton. Son of a... Tyron's face went dark, his eyes filled with rage. Tyron's face went dark, rage twisting his features. I'm telling you, Conley, don't push your luck. Your title was revoked because you didn't deserve it. I earned mine with real skills. With skills? I stepped forward, staring straight at him. You mean the skill to slack off and play games every day at work? Or the skill to take 2-hour lunch breaks and clock out right at 5? Or maybe, I added slowly, the skill to stare at your computer all day and only type the word proposal on a PowerPoint slide. I wasn't talking fast, but every word landed hard. His mouth moved, but nothing came out. He just flicked his eyes toward our boss in desperation. Rayner's face twisted with disappointment, like Tyron had embarrassed him by being useless. Then he turned to me, his voice cold. Conley, watch your tone. This is a company, not a street corner. You don't get to yell as you please. Just because you won a few projects before doesn't mean you get to be untouchable. Survival of the fittest. You were replaced by someone better. You need to accept that. Stop making trouble. Everyone turned to look at me, waiting to see how big of a fool I'd make of myself for a 500,000 bonus. 500,000? 5 million wouldn't even interest me. What I wanted was fairness. I didn't get angry. I didn't argue. I just let out a cold, mocking laugh. Fine, I accept it. The top salesperson title should go to someone more capable. The moment I sat back at my desk, HR blasted out 2 announcements. Our employee, Conley Minty, has misused company funds for excessive dining, severely violating company policy. Effective immediately, he is removed from the sales manager position and suspended for reflection. Our intern Tyron Appleton, who has bravely defended company interests and shown outstanding performance, creating massive profits, is now hired full-time. He will take over the sales manager position and all ongoing projects. Right after that, the CEO mentioned me in the group chat. At Conley, due to your wastefulness and disregard for company rules, your monthly bonus is deducted. Write a 10,000-word self-criticism and post it in the group chat for everyone to learn from. Unbelievable. They stripped my title, cut my bonus, turned me into a public example, threw me onto a sacrificial altar, using my humiliation to flex their power. The group immediately fell silent. Even the whole office went dead quiet. Everyone's eyes drifted toward me, some sympathetic, some angry, some gloating. The message just sat there, unmoving, like everyone was waiting for me to swallow my pride and apologize in the group chat. Then Rayner mentioned my name again. Conley, did you not see it? I still didn't respond. He kept tagging me like a madman. Then Lila sent me a private message. Hey, don't be stubborn. Just bend a little. Your job matters more. I looked at her and gave a small smile, and somehow that smile brought out a few tears. My stiff fingers tapped on my phone as I typed back, my hands shaking a little. Got it, sir. I'll remember this lesson. I will never again order a $40 dessert and splurge and waste company resources. Next time at the company dinner, I'll just drink water and skip the food. On the surface, it looked like an apology, but the message was basically a drop of water landing in hot oil. Anyone could see it for what it was, an employee's quiet, blunt disappointment in his own company. Right after sending it, I logged out of every company system and took my mandatory self-reflection suspension, exactly as instructed. Rayner, sticking relentlessly to his stay in your lane mantra, shoved me into a workstation next to the bathroom, where I had to deal with coworkers walking by all day, some giving me half-interested disdain, others giving pitying looks I didn't need. Meanwhile, Tyron parked himself proudly at my old desk, barking orders at the department like he was suddenly in charge. But my seat wasn't something you could just slide into and fake your way through. Every project before this, I handled myself. From design to production, I knew every piece of it. Tyron, that rookie didn't